Welcome into Minnesota Vikings Now by Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey. Here's what's coming up on today's show. Could the Vikings sign YaSin because they have cornerback room's a mess? About trading for DeAndre Hopkins. He appears to be not that expensive. And Kwesi Adofo-Mensah has talked about the free agency moves overall. We'll break that down. But first, we are once again asking for your help. Our goal is 10 shares. That's it. Tag us on Twitter. We'll give you guys some love there at Chat Sports, at WhatGoingDowney, at Pat Seaman NFL. Hit that share button wherever it is so we can keep growing our channel and do even more Vikings videos for you into the future. Let's get into the YaSin idea. I do think he is the best free agent corner available. Not exactly a high bar, to be fair. Didn't have his best year ever following a trade from Indy to Las Vegas. He would be a big help to what is a rather depleted Vikings cornerback room. The numbers last year, he missed some time due to injury, 61%, but only 323 yards, a very small yardage allowed number there. 5 pass breakups. I do have a little bit of concern in terms of, is he more of a zone corner in that more cover 2 stuff the Colts ran when he was at his best? Can he still play some man for you, since I suspect it's going to be a man-heavy scheme under Brian Flores? Maybe it's a situation where you wait until after the draft, because I think the Vikings would love to draft a corner this year, because how can you not want to? Right now it's in some order Byron Murphy, Caleb Evans, and Andrew Booth. You're banking on Booth, your second-round pick, being a piece who hasn't played much man-to-man corner dating back to his time in Clemson. Maybe Murphy offers you some inside-outside flex. Tay Gowan, Kalen Barnes. That is it. I think you can add 2 corners, frankly, if not even 3, in terms of notable guys. Not only do you need probably a starter over Caleb Evans, I would guess, you need to add more bodies to this team. You do not have the depth or the top-end talent at the position. Cornerback, I would say unquestionably, is the number one need right now for this Vikings team, because your 2 young guys last year, Andrew Booth and Caleb Evans, wasn't good. Now, small sample sizes, injuries a factor. The entire defense had some problems there. These guys have to step up. So, Booth, Evans, if these guys don't emerge, man, it's scary. So when it comes to YaSin, it's the pinned comment on today's video. Do you want to sign him in free agency? S for you want to add him and sign him. P for pass. You'll at least see how the draft plays out. It's the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let us know. Let's talk a more fun name here. DeAndre Hopkins. He is still involved in the latest NFL trade rumors. The update from Albert Breer was that teams have been granted permission to talk to him. I will make note, I don't think that was a new development. I think that's been an option for Hopkins and company for a while now. The Vikings still need a wide receiver number 2, and it is kind of weird that there's been apparently no interest in him. The report from Jeremy Fowler was along the lines of, teams want the Cardinals to eat some of the money. Arizona doesn't want to. They have a high asking price. So there's a lot of just non-interest in Nuke Hopkins, which, like, I know he's missed time the past 2 years. I know he's old. I know he's due almost $40 million over the next 2 years. But if he's willing to take a pay cut and or the Cardinals eat some of that money, wouldn't there be a lot of just general intrigue in adding him, right? Like, it's DeAndre Hopkins. Imagine Hopkins and Justin Jefferson on this team. Now, again, I think given the age and the injuries and the missed time and the contract and whatever, I would put Hopkins in the want category for Minnesota, because you have Justin Jefferson. You want a quality 2, but you don't need an elite number 2 like Hopkins would be. And I am at least a little bit curious to see how KJ Osborne does as wide receiver 2. But if the trade is a second rounder, well, you don't even have one, so that goes off the board there. But if the trade becomes a 4th rounder or a 5th, like the Brandon Cooks deal, guys, it's DeAndre Hopkins. I think that's worth it. Now, Osborne flashed some last year, but, I mean, if you're interested in just making the best offense possible, Osborne as your 3 is still a pretty good outcome there. And I think we all feel great about that offense with Hopkins mixed in as receiver 2 instead of KJ Osborne. Maybe you want to go Osborne. Maybe you want to draft somebody because there will be some receiver 2s in this class. So let's say you are the Vikings front office, the organization. Would you trade for DeAndre Hopkins, knowing it might be a bit expensive money-wise? Sound off for me in the comment section. Y for yes, N for no. Go vote right now. Now we're going to break down the latest quotes, in part from the league owner meetings here from Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, the Vikings GM. First up, his comments on Josh Oliver, the kind of expensive contract they gave to him in free agency. His quote was, I think one of the things you wanted was a theme of versatility, but versatility that allows other people to be better. What I mean by that is somebody like Josh Oliver who can actually make Justin Jefferson better. People don't realize what I mean, but they'll see it when Kevin talks and see how we play. I don't really know what he means. I would describe, like, if you're making Jefferson better, I would view that as, okay, another number 2 receiver to help take some pressure off him. Oliver is a run-blocking tight end, which I think you're going to see more 12 personnel this year from Minnesota, which Hockenson, Oliver's a great run blocker. I just think he kind of overpaid for that a little bit. But this next part, I think, kind of actually explains what Adofo-Mensah means. We feel like one of the ways we can help Jefferson is by using our 2 tight end package, by using C.J. Ham and Josh or TJ to apply pressure to the defense because they've got to defend all the different variations of formations and ways you can take advantage of some of those bigger groupings on the field on those early downs. We want to use that tight end position to apply pressure, and that's what it's all about. I read that as they're going to run all of the play action. They're going to go with, by the way, 12 personnel refers to 1 running back, 2 tight ends, 22 personnel, 2 backs or a fullback, and 2 tight ends. That reads, we're going to go tight, we're going to go big package, get the defense sucked in, run downfield play action off it. That's what I read there. And you're trying to pull off an extra corner, pull a safety down in the box, and set up a little bit better for less, you come out in nickel, okay, well, we're just going to play man and still double JJ. And I think they're hoping for a better run game. The efficiency was poor last year. And Kevin O'Connell did run the ball some in L.A. They actually, McVay likes to run the football. It's just that, it's running the ball is less effective in terms of overall, but you need to be able to run the football when it matters down late in games when teams are, if they're going to go 2 shell coverage against you, short passes or just run the football for 5 yards. Those are good play calls. So Minnesota didn't really have that, okay, it's shell coverage against us. In theory, adding Josh Oliver, bringing back C.J. Ham should help the run game be a little bit better in that category. The Vikings were a bit of a soft team, especially on defense. They got bullied, pushed around, punched in the mouth too much last year. I think adding a run-blocking tight end in Josh Oliver makes me think this team is looking to add some toughness on that side of the football. Remember, folks, if you have not already, please subscribe to us here on Minnesota Vikings Now. Free videos every single day. YouTube.com/@Vikings Today. Free videos on everything going on around your Minnesota Vikings.